Now look, I'm not one to panic over practices or more in particular like a single practice situation, but when we're talking about a thing that's been going on throughout the entire training camp, that's when we start to have a problem, and I'm referring to this kicking game. I touched up on it about 4 days ago when we were hearing about how Jonathan Garibay was struggling and then Liram was also struggling, but now we're hearing that Liram is doing a little bit better, but you also have Jonathan Garibay continuing to struggle and missing very bad when it comes to these attempts. Now, the Dallas Cowboys elected to put themselves in this position. I'm going to go over, well, how did we get here once again? Are they set to go into the season with what they have, which you probably know the answer to that? And more importantly, like, what could this spell for the Cowboys in 2022? So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Now, before we do that, if you can do me a favor and like this video, it doesn't take long to do whatsoever, and it's greatly appreciated as it helps it perform better in the algorithm. Subscribe if you are new, especially if you keep coming back, which, 65% of you guys not subscribed. A lot of you keep coming back. So if that's the case, hey, subscribe, stick around, and hit that notification as well because YouTube is being a pain in the neck. So if you don't hit that notification bell, apparently you won't get my videos. I don't know. That's just what I was told. But this kicking situation, it makes me very nervous because this is something that could very much well derail that entire season for the Cowboys in 2022. Now, you might be saying, oh, Space, it's not like it's going to end the season, but you got to remember, guys, your special teams do matter. As I mentioned in the previous video, look at last year. The Cowboys could have easily had home field advantage if it wasn't for their kicker and Greg Zuerlein missing important kicks. So, let's keep this in mind. Special teams matter, and your kicking game is one of the most important aspects to your team alongside your punters. But again, that kicker is extremely important when games go certain ways. And I know that sounds super cliche, but you're not going to score a touchdown on every single drive, right? And sometimes you're going to have those games where you need your kicker to win you stuff. And the Cowboys had that with Greg last year. He won you some games. He lost you some games. And they did make the right decision on moving on from him. A lot of people might be having some buyer's remorse or seller's remorse, however you want to phrase it, with letting him go. But I'm going to tell you right now, no, the Dallas Cowboys getting rid of Greg Zuerlein was the correct decision. However, it was not the correct decision to properly go about building up this special teams unit with the kicking game. So you sign Chris Nagar, then you cut him. Liram comes in, hallelujah, however you want to say his last name. I'm going to just call him Liram. Jonathan Garibay, the young kicker, comes in. He's struggling. But what's worse is while Garibay is bad, Liram is just inconsistent. There will be days where he looks fine, and then there are other days where he doesn't. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'd rather know that I have a bad kicker than an inconsistent kicker, because with having an inconsistent kicker, you don't know what the hell you're going to get. At least with a bad kicker, you can dispose of him and go for someone else. But here's the problem. There is not really a big market for kickers, especially veteran ones. Yes, you have names like Dan Bailey, Kai Forbath, Brett Maher, names to throw out there. There are plenty more. But the part that just irks me is that the Dallas Cowboys, I feel like, didn't really approach this well. And this could, again, bite them in the ass in 2022. When you have Jerry Jones going out there saying that, oh, I don't have a problem with the kicking game. I don't have a problem with the inconsistency. Let's see how they do inside. That's a problem. I get it that there are a good chunk of stadiums that are indoors, but you might have to go on the road, outdoors, where it's windy in a playoff game, or in a regular season game that's important. Again, we don't know how the weather's going to be that day, but you can't just be like, oh, let's wait until they're inside, because not every single stadium has like wind restrictions to where like you're A-okay, it's a dome. Get the hell out of here, Jerry. And so with that, look, you're not going to need your kicker every single damn game to kick a field goal, to, score points every single time. It's not like you're just exclusively scoring touchdowns, field goals, you name it. But like I mentioned, you need to have a guy that you can go out there and okay, I'm at least going to get the gimme field goals. The longer field goals, like 55 yards out, might be a problem. And I know it's hard to come across extremely accurate kickers, but I'm not asking for a guy to be 100%. I know how difficult that can be. All I'm asking is, listen, if you could just do your job well, that's all I give a damn about. I know Dan Bailey, when he was here in his prime, did he make every single kick? No. But what's important is that, a lot of the times where he had to make kicks to get us points, he did. And so that's what I'm hoping the Cowboys can get out of this kicking room. But if we go into the season and you have Liram, your starting kicker, and he, is, inconsistent as can be. Like one game he'll hit all his field goals, and then another game he's not missing any, he's hit nothing. Then you're just right back to square one with where you were at with Greg Zuerlein. And we will see this in a live game setting. We have 3 games to figure it out as long as they get attempts. Like, me personally, I don't give a damn if we score touchdowns. All I care about is this kicking game. Listen, if all we kicked was field goals and we just moved the ball, that's fine with me. I need to get a sense of what I got with my kicker because, god damn it, if our kickers suck, you need to go get someone, and you have to do it immediately. You can't be sitting around and being like, okay, guys, we're going to roll with these kickers, and then, okay, we're going to roll with Garibay or whoever. Because think about it this way, right? What happens if you have Liram as your kicker, or hell, Jonathan Garibay, early on in the season, and you have these guys doing terrible when you need them to kick field goals to win you games, and you start off bad because your kickers suck? It's the exact same reasoning. Like, your punting game is important because the field position is important as well. That's why I don't take this stuff lightly. That's why I'm trying not to get overly panicky, but I'm trying to raise awareness on what's going on with this position group. I didn't want to touch on it until we got more clarity, and here we are with an inconsistent kicker and a bad kicker. I'm hoping Liram or Garibay can straighten up and get this thing taken care of, but when you have guys like at a 53 to 60 percentile hit rate, that's not going to fly for me. You just got rid of a guy that had an 82 percentile type of hit rate on kicking field goals, and you mean to tell me that, oh, that's okay? Now, I'm not trying to, again, sit here and say that the Cowboys should not have let go of Greg Zuerlein, because I was one of those proponents that you got to get rid of him. You got to get a new kicker because he's the reason he cost you some games. But here we are today talking about this kicking situation, and it's not gotten any better. And there are other storylines in camp where things they haven't gotten better, or they've just been mid. But I think a lot of our questions will be answered in this first preseason game. If the Cowboys go out and they do A-okay, cool. But this kicking game's a problem, guys. I mean, who do you think? Please, enlighten me, because there really isn't a whole lot of kickers out there. Do you have a guy that you're keeping an eye out on to be like, hey, the Cowboys should sign this guy if possible to fix this kicking situation? So if you could put that down there below, that'd be greatly appreciated. On top of that, if you are new here and reach the end of this video, thank you so much. You're a real MVP. Make sure to subscribe to stick around. Hit that notification bell to not miss out on new content. Also, guys, leave a like on your way out. And if you missed the last video, you have the little video thing right in the middle of your screen at the end. So click that to check that last video out, and you don't miss out on any of my content. So with that being said, guys, let's hope the Cowboys fix this kicking situation. So without further ado, I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, guys, have a good one. Goodbye.